Hi everyone, welcome to this video for D100 Space. This is the episode 4. In episode 3 we created our captain, what I've decided to do with this series of episodes for D100 Space is move in a slightly different direction. In the end of the last video, episode 3, I said we would do some operations and would go through playing the game and sort of running the game like that. But what I've decided to do is, because I'm also doing a series of videos for the Galaxy Builder, D100 Space Galaxy Builder, a lot of the free roaming of the star system and so forth is going to be explained in the Galaxy Builder, and it's going to be pretty similar to what I would be doing in the space episodes. So I'm going to try and keep it a bit different, a bit separate. If you want to see like a sandbox type series of videos, then probably the Galaxy Builder is the one to check out. In this series of D100 Space, I'm going to be focusing just on the rules. So in this video we're going to look at jump lanes and how you make jump tests. We're going to move from this star system to this star system, and then we'll do later videos on how to move between zones. So we'll do video on how you do space cruise tests, and then we'll do videos on how to look at the points of interest, how to interact with them. We'll do a video on space combat, and then we'll do a video on away missions and the different features of away missions. So taking a bit of a different direction, and in this video we're going to take a look at the jump lanes. Okay, so what I've done is I've updated the log sheet. There was some optional rules when you create a captain. See if we can find them, which is in this section here, where it tells you to perform the first 5 training missions. But if you didn't want to do that, then you could also update your captain and then begin playing operations straight off the bat. So I've gone ahead and done that. I've upgraded the captain, giving him a few extras. So that was the old log sheet. The control modifier went from +25 and it's now +15 because we've loaded up some modifications on board. So our control modifier's dropped a little bit, but I'm going to move that one out of the way. We're not going to use that anymore. I've also gone ahead and added some crew. So we've got 10 navigators, and that's what we're going to need to navigate the stars. So although we lost 10 on our control modifier there, we actually gained 10 because we boarded some crew. And when you board crew, you'd need to do that in a port phase, so you can't just do that as and when you feel like it. I'll probably do a video on port phases as well at some stage. Okay, so the first thing really before we start jumping in and making loads of jump tests is to take a look at the jump test itself and how it works. So on this sheet, on the handy sheet that we've got here, we've got a lot of the different types of tests that you can make when you're playing the game, and one of them is the jump test. And the test is actually an int based test, so we base it on our captain's intelligence value, and it's also plus or minus the starship's control modifier. So our control modifier is currently +15. Our jump speed is 55 light years, and that means that every time we make a jump test we can move up to that maximum number of light years. So when we're travelling from Artemis to Vinwa, it's we have to make a series of jump tests because we can't travel the full 116. Our ship's jump speed is only 55, so we'd have to go 55, then another 55, and then the last 6 light years to actually get to Vinwa. And that's providing that we pass all those tests. The test also calls for a power surge, so we're going to spend power when we're moving, and it depends. If you pass the test it's -1, if you fail the test it's -2 power level. So we're going to be losing power as we perform these tests. We also, as we travel, we're going to be burning fuel, so as well as making the jump test, we're going to be spending fuel on the number of light years we've actually travelled. So that's different to if we set out to do 55 light years, because that's the maximum our ship can go, and we fail that test, we probably won't have gone anything like 55 light years. And so the amount of fuel that you burn is based on what you've actually travelled, not what you set out to travel at the beginning of the test. So if we made a test and we wanted to go 55 light years and we failed that test and we only moved 30 light years, we would only spend fuel based on the 30 light years we actually travelled. Okay, so that's quite important. And then any navigators, for this test it calls upon navigators, your crew. So if you've got any crew on board that are navigators, that's going to add to that test value as well. So the cost, the test target that we've got that we need to roll equal to or below is going to be int plus our control modifier. So our intelligence for this captain is 35. And then we add the control modifier 15, so 35 plus 15, that's 50. We've also got 10 navigators on board, so our final target is plus another 10, so 50 plus 10 is 60, and I've written 60 by the side there as a reminder. So that's how you work out your test result. And then what we need to do is just be aware of some of the other features of the test itself. So again, we burn fuel. 1 ton of fuel gets used every 10 light years of travel or part of. So in our case, each time we make the test and passed it successfully, we would have travelled 55 light years, which is rounded up to 60. So we're going to be spending 6 fuel every time we pass that test. Okay. You can jump any number of light years. You don't have to before you test, decide how many light years you would like to travel, then make the test. If you fail it, then you base that failure on the number of light years you intended to travel, not the maximum jump speed that you've got. Okay, so you can choose anything between 0 and your maximum, or 1 and your maximum jump speed value, which in our case is 55. You must travel along these hyperjump lanes. These hyperjump lanes are in green and they've got the number of light years written above them. So for instance, Impfar to Elmstar would be 196 light years that you would need to travel, whereas we're going to do a test based on Artemis to Vinoir, which is 116 light years. Okay, and then a failed jump test requires you to roll on table J. Okay, so I've done a bit of a sort of a mapping detail here. So we're going to be going from the Artemis system to the Vinoir system. It's 116 light years. Our maximum jump speed is 55. So if we travel 55, then we'd have to travel another 55 and then another 6. So that's 55 plus 55 is 110 plus 6, 116 light years. So potentially we've got 3 jump tests that we need to make. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a roll, see how we get on, and then we'll calculate our costs and so forth for those tests that we make. So let's take the first test, and we got to roll 60 or less. Okay, roll 56, so that's actually a pass. Okay, so the first test we've passed. We've travelled test 1, we've travelled 55 light years, and it's cost us 6 fuel. Okay, 1 power and 6 fuel. Okay, 55 10 light years per tonnage of fuel, so that's rounded up 55 to 6 fuel. Okay, so now it's a case we test again, see what happens. Okay, unfortunately we failed that one, so we've rolled 65. So test 2 was a fail. Okay, and what you need to do now is, we failed, so we need to deduct 2 power level, and then we need to roll on table J in the main rule book. Need to look up the number of light years you was trying to travel, which in our case was 55, and then roll to see what happens. Okay, we've rolled 20. Okay, so we've only managed to move, it tells us the 10 tells us that we've only moved 10 light years, and there's also been a hyper jump event. Okay, so we need to look at that in a minute, but we've gone 10 light years, so that's another -1 fuel. Okay, let's roll on table H to see what we get. Okay, I've rolled 93. Okay, scatterings of battle. There's been a recent space battle involving thousands of starships near the jump lane, and pieces of ship floated across the lane, blocking the jump route. The navigation sensors have triggered the safety protocols, and the captain's starship has dropped out of hyperdrive. The field of battle spreads for many miles in all directions, and the captain is going to have to navigate around before reactivating the jump engines. Roll 1d10 plus 10 to determine the range the ship will have to fly to get around the debris field, and then perform the space cruise test below until the starship has travelled a distance equal to the determined range. Okay, so there's a space cruise test there as well. We're not going to perform that in this example because really this video is just focused about making jump tests, but we'll cover space cruise tests in another video. But basically what you would do is you would then need to make that test and keep performing that test until you'd actually completed it, and then you could then resume your journey along to that Artemis system, to that Vimoir system. Okay, so we'll look at that in another video. So I don't want to really make these videos too long and get bogged down in lots of other events. Okay, so far we've only travelled 55, we've travelled 65 light years, and we've got 116 to travel in total. Okay, so far we've travelled 65 light years, and that leaves us 160, 51 left to actually travel. So we need to make another test. This time we're not moving our full jump speed, we're only moving 51 light years. Okay, we've got to roll 60 or below. Okay, roll 19, so that's another pass. Okay, so this time we've gone test 3, we've gone 51 light years. It's cost us another power level, and we've managed to move 51 light years, so that's another 6 fuel. Okay, and then it's a case of totting it up. So we've done 1, 3, 4, -4 power level, and then 6, 7 plus another 6 is 13, so that's -13 fuel. And as you make these tests, what you would normally do is you would do all the deductions as you went along. But okay, so we'll update the sheet. So it was -4 power level, so our power level is now at 21, and we've used 13 fuel, so our fuel is at 17. Okay, and that pretty much concludes how you would move from one star system to another. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do check out some of the other videos in the series, and also check out that Galaxy Builder series that I'm doing at the moment, because that goes into a lot more detail as well. In the next video I think we'll probably take a look at that space cruise test and show how that's performed. So once again, thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.